The President of the United States went to Kiev in wartime and assured the people of Ukraine and its president that the United States will do whatever it takes to sustain Ukraine in its resistance against Russian aggression. The whatever it takes surely includes anti-missiles artillery and rockets to defend Ukrainian cities. And I appeal again to Speaker Johnson to let democracy decide in the US Congress, to let this matter up for a vote so that the money and the equipment can reach Ukraine. If it doesn't, the Russians will do more destruction and the United States' credibility will be at stake. Well, we've been spending 2% of GDP on defense for the last 15 years. We are spending now close to 4% of GDP on defense. And in fact, I have to tell you, Europe, the European Union and its member states have spent double what the United States has spent on helping Ukraine. We are often suspected in the United States, including in Congress, of being free riders. Well, on this one, we have done the right thing. We now need the United States to do what the President of the United States has promised.
And are you confident that the US will come through, Foreign Minister?
We've had false dawns before, and the fact of the matter is that this supplemental has been languishing in Congress since August last year. Since August last year, equipment has not been getting through to Ukraine.
I sense frustration in your voice.
Ukraine, well, my frustration is nothing, I can assure you, by comparison with what the President of Ukraine and the people of Ukraine feel, because it's they who are being bombarded.
NATO foreign ministers are meeting today to discuss how to supply Ukraine with more weapons in the years ahead through a potential fund worth €100 billion. We understand that during this meeting, NATO foreign ministers are trying to Donald Trump-proof the alliance. By that, I mean put in place measures to protect funding in the event that Trump does win the US election in November. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, exactly. That is what NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg was referring to there in that sound clip of when he came into the NATO summit this morning, when he talks about shifting the dynamic. What he means there is shifting the coordination of funding from the United States to NATO. The idea is to transfer all of that within NATO to, as you said, Trump-proof the support for Ukraine. So NATO itself would be coordinating that, not the United States. And what Secretary General Stoltenberg was referring to there when he said that the financing needs to be more predictable and more long-term is, of course, the fact that Republicans in the US Congress have been blocking military aid to Ukraine for several months now at the direction of their candidates for President Donald Trump, and it's unclear whether that funding will ever be unblocked. So this is in response to the short-term blockage of US military aid to Ukraine, but also the long-term fears about Donald Trump being elected president. Of course, he has said that he would end the Ukraine war in one day, and assumedly what he means by that is forcing Ukraine to surrender to Russia and cede territory. So we'll see how the reaction is to this today. They're just discussing it today and tomorrow. They'll take a decision on this at the next annual NATO summit, which is happening in July in Washington. That's kind of an awkward location to have a discussion about stripping away authority for this funding away from the United States, because trust in the United States is waning.